Faith and politics are increasingly intertwined in Cameroon. A Jesuit priest, Father Ludovic Lado, is calling for what he terms Operation Boycott, a call for all congregants to withhold offerings in churches where leaders remain silent on people's demands for change. His bold stance comes amid increasing discontent in the country. It echoes the bishop's recent communique on the socio-economic crisis plaguing Cameroon. Father Lado, in a video that he released recently, says, let me quote him, boycott the offering in churches where the leaders boycott the people's thirsts for change. Faith cannot be divorced from justice, and silence in the face of oppression is complicity. This statement follows a letter by the head of the Evangelical Church of Cameroon, who has prohibited pastors from addressing state issues and politics. This has generated widespread condemnation and debate, raising the question, should the church remain neutral in matters of governance, or is silence an abdication of its moral duty? Biblical teachings provide both support and challenges to this position. On one hand, Jesus himself resisted oppressive systems. In Matthew 23, verse 23, he condemned religious leaders for neglecting justice, mercy, and faithfulness, while being overly focused on rituals. This suggests that silence in the face of injustice is contrary to Christ's example. If Christian leaders are truly following Christ, why then do they want to ignore his examples? On the other hand, Romans 13 verse 1 to 2 reminds Christians to submit to governing authorities as they are instituted by God. This verse has often been interpreted as a call to respect established leadership, even if it's imperfect. This is the verse that many in the camp of the government in Cameroon have tried to use. But does it really stand scrutiny? Father Lado is already walking the talk, as he recently announced his intention to run for parliament in 2026. As such, he challenges the interpretation of the Romans verse 13. He argues that offering silence in a time of crisis is tantamount to ignoring the plight of the oppressed, directly contradicting Proverbs 31 verse 8 to 9, which calls on believers to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Many of the comments we have received show that Christians understand the need for respect, but continue to question if the church stays silent. Who will then speak for them? The Bible teaches Christians to be the light of the world and the salt of the earth. Can a church leader be any of these if they are silent in the face of injustice? That's the question. Father Lado's Operation Boycott points out a deeper question. Should a church prioritize neutrality or advocacy? For many Cameroonians, this debate is no longer theoretical. The economic, political, and social crises they face demand action, and faith, they argue, must work hand in hand with justice. But then the Bible says, take courage, do not be afraid, speak truth in love. That's the book of Ephesians 4, verse 15. What do you think it is referring to? Should churches take a stand on issues of governance, or should they remain focused on spiritual matters? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Today we're talking biblical issues because the church seems to be very, very paramount when it comes to talking about leadership and how the country should move forward, especially a country like Cameroon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.